It's time for Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors.
Good Sunday morning to you. This is Karey Brown, broker-owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors here in Topeka, and you're listening to Real Estate 101. And today I am here with Kristi Pankratz with Safe Streets. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
So this month we're really focusing on all of the great things that are out there that not everybody knows exist.
Wonderful.
So tell us about Safe Streets and how it helps the community.
Sure. Well, a lot of people know the name Safe Streets, but not everybody knows our parent organization, which is Prevention and Recovery Services. We have been around as a Safe Streets program since 1995. We were formed when a reverend here in town, David Fulton, noticed kind of an all-time high in homicide rates were going on in the community. And the thought was, what can we do as a community to kind of take back our streets to help law enforcement? So the idea of Safe Streets was born. We were then housed underneath Prevention and Recovery Services, an organization which handles substance abuse prevention. And that's where we have been ever since 1995. So we have really focused our mission on crime prevention, particularly regarding property crimes, because those are one of the things that are the most preventable. So we work with educating people on some things they can do to make their property safer and to make their lives a little bit safer. And we also do programs such as Neighborhood Watch, which encourages neighbors getting together with each other. We do an event called National Night Out Against Crime every August, which again just builds a collective neighborhood together of a community. We're really here to help empower the community. We want our community to be safe and healthy, and we like working with people and doing anything we can to help people make that happen.
So specifically for homeowners, because this is Real Estate 101, how can they utilize your services?
Well, what I encourage is to know if there is a neighborhood group that meets in your area and to get involved. Often we live in a society where, we come home after a busy day, we pull into the garage, and we never go outside after that. What we really encourage is to get to know your neighbors, because neighbors are the best crime prevention tool out there. When you know your neighbor, you know what's supposed to be there, what car is supposed to be there. And if something looks a little hinky, you're going to be more apt to report it. So that's really what we stress with that. Now, in Topeka and Shawnee County, there are a couple different neighborhood groups. We have neighborhood improvement associations, which have a financial component to it and are run through the city. We have neighborhood associations, which are more formal groups. There are homeowners associations that certain areas of the community have. And then neighborhood watches can be components of all of those different types of things, or it can just be people meeting in their backyard or in a garage talking with their neighbor about what's going on. The communication is what I can't stress that enough, how important that is, and knowing who your neighbors are.
I know whenever we sell homes, especially when people have moved out of town and their homes are vacant, definitely having one of your neighbors that you trust to know that you're not there and to watch out. You see so many cars coming and going, but typically you're going to see a realtor with them. So if you just see someone individually there, and it's not like on a Sunday when an open house would be, and say, for instance, maybe it's dead that day.
Right.
Just take a minute, watch them. You see them coming out of the backyard. Chances are they're doing something with an air conditioner.
Exactly. Well, one of the things in particular with vacant homes that we encourage people to look at are with air conditioner units. If you are selling your home and it is vacant, it's really important to reach out to your neighbors to know who's supposed to be around, who should be there and who should not. Our thing is, if you trust your gut, if something seems off, it normally is, and call law enforcement with that. Particularly during the spring and summer months is when we have seen that increase a lot over the last couple of years, is the air conditioner thefts. So just really encourage people to be aware of that as a possibility and to just take extra care if there is a vacant home or home for sale in your block.
Also, one of the things that just drives me crazy and kind of off subject, but a lot of times when people get into financial trouble, they just vacate a house. And what they don't understand is that you can actually still sell a house even if you owe more than what you're going to make. It's called short sales.
Oh, very good.
And we can help you with that. So give us a call. I mean, there's no reason to take that kind of hit on your credit when it could be remedied. And that would also help to prevent a lot of the vacant homes that are out there because people just walk away.
And that creates kind of a downward spiral for a neighborhood because if there is a vacant home, you might run the risk of people coming in and out, using it for illicit purposes, which can then make the value of a neighborhood go down. So if you can address things on the front end, that's really what we encourage. And I think that's a wonderful, wonderful suggestion for folks.
Yeah, I don't think people have any idea. They just, they get so overwhelmed and they don't know that there's light at the end of the tunnel or that people can actually help. And with the banks now, they're really, they've been leaned on very heavily to help in those situations and to not let them go into foreclosure because it does take the community down. And not to mention the fact you can recover a lot faster with credit scores if you do a short sale versus being foreclosed on. So definitely reach out because we have learned the process and we know how to get it done if it can be done.
Well, very good information.
Yeah. So I know that you guys have like neighborhood watch type things, but you also are you guys the ones that do the vacation coverage?
Actually, the Topeka Police Department does that. They have a great volunteer and police service unit where you can just submit the information online through a fill-in form. And they have what are called VIPs who come out and will check your property a couple times a day or whenever. They'll ask for like vehicles that are supposed to be at the property. And you can put down, so if something seems a little off, then they can further investigate and give it to the law enforcement to further explore. I know I've personally used that. And my neighbors all say, yep, I saw them driving around a couple times, which is wonderful. So that's really a great thing for homeowners to do.
Yeah, especially if you don't know your neighbors. Somebody actually watching out for you is huge.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't quite have that camaraderie yet or the trust there yet, I'd encourage you to work on that. But in the interim, this is an added layer of support and security for your house as well, too.
So in communities where there isn't a neighborhood watch, how do you guys get involved to help them establish that?
Well, all it takes is a person who is interested. We cover Topeka and Shawnee County is who we primarily serve. And I would say there are about 100 neighborhood watch groups that are what we would consider active, meaning meet at least once a year. We try to have people meet more than that. But oftentimes people will call up and say, I'm having problems in my neighborhood. There's an increase in burglaries to vehicles. I'm seeing a lot more vandalism going on. What can I do? And what we do is say, let's get your neighbors together. We will look at our records and see if there is an active group going on. And if you're interested in knowing if there's one in your area, please call us. Our phone number is 266-4606, and we can research that and see if there is an active group there. And if not, what we're going to encourage you to do is to start one. All it takes is a couple people who are interested and passionate to get something going. And that's really what we want to convey.
And are there education pieces for them or tips or anything like that?
Yeah. Basically what happens is we will work with you. We don't just say, oh, go do it. No, we're there with you from day one. We will encourage, kind of look at the area that you're talking about and make recommendations on boundaries. Should this be a block long? Maybe you're having issues with another block. What should the size of this neighborhood watch be? Sometimes neighborhood watches are actually apartment complexes. So it just kind of depends on the area and what kind of problems are being observed. Because the more people you have coming together with a united voice, the stronger it looks to law enforcement, too, if there's an issue going on, or if there's another type of legal issue going on that looks a little bit stronger. So we will kind of be with you from the get-go. We create flyers for you. The neighbors will need to kind of find a meeting place. We can make suggestions. We don't really book things for people, but if there's like a church, for example, in the neighborhood, those are great places for people to meet. In the summertime, your driveway. I mean, we try to encourage people to make it as simple as possible to meet. And then what we encourage is to kind of make a list of what are the top priorities for your group. Is it speeding an issue, for example? Are there thefts going on? And then we encourage people to look at what are the particulars of it? What times are they occurring? What's being done? Who's doing what? Because we don't want people just to say, oh, this is somebody else's responsibility. This is your neighborhood. This is also your responsibility. And what can you do to help mitigate the problem. So we encourage people to take ownership and responsibility because, for instance, if our funding goes away, we want to make sure that these things are active and keep going. So that's really the goal. We want people to constantly be looking at issues, looking for crime, what's going on, and just to know each other too. That's one of the resources or reasons for neighborhood watches. We encourage people to meet about once every quarter. As seasons change, crime also changes too. So it's important to know what's going on, what the patterns are. We work very closely with local law enforcement officers, both with the sheriff and the Topeka Police Department. In fact, the community policing unit, the west side for TPD, is actually housed in the building. So we are very, very close with them and often share information and about things that are going on in neighborhoods so we can better address them as a community.
What kind of crime do you see a spike in? I know that there's been a lot of vehicle thefts.
Right now, thefts from vehicles. That's things like you leave your purse in your car to, run in back into the house real quick to grab something, or you leave your laptop overnight. Those have been very, very high lately. We have a campaign called Lock It, Remove It, or Lose It that we really want to emphasize the importance of locking your vehicle and removing valuables. That's something preemptively that we can do to impact crime. If you look at crime as a triangle, 3 things have to be present in order for it to occur. The ability of a person to commit the crime, the opportunity, and desire. The only thing that you and I can control is the opportunity. And that's why we really encourage people to remove that opportunity from people where we can. Things like locking your vehicle, hiding any valuables that are in plain sight underneath the car, for example. Especially with the holidays coming up, don't leave your packages in the back seat. That's an opportunity waiting to happen. So we really want to just empower people to have the safest, healthiest life that they can.
I know that there's a really cool app that's out there, a website really, that's called nextdoor.com.
Yes.
Have you ever used that?
Yeah, we sure do. It is a wonderful tool that both the city and county encourage neighborhoods to use. It's similar to a social media app, and what it does is it basically, you have to be who you say you are, and you're divided into different neighborhood groups. So you can post what's going on in your area. There are a lot of information from the city regarding different crime activities. You can post local things like local businesses, as well as if there are things that you're observing personally too. There are a lot of neighborhoods that use it. It's a great resource, and I encourage people to look in on it. It's nextdoor.com is the website. It's also available in an app. A lot of neighborhoods also use social media. Facebook is one of the strongest things that I see neighborhoods use in addition to Nextdoor. And it's really nice because you can make a closed group, you can vet people who are there, and you just see the conversations going. People are on Facebook pretty much all day anyway, so it's just kind of an added benefit and added layer to that as well too. And the important thing to us is the communication that's going on. I mean, even if you are unable to get out of your house, you can still know what's going on in your neighborhood through the different platforms that are out there. So if you haven't already checked out Nextdoor, if you're not sure if your neighborhood has a Facebook, look into it. Safe Streets can help you with the Facebook pages. We can put you in touch with your neighborhood leader and see if there's one out there for you. Nextdoor, you just can go in and sign up on your own, and it'll ask for proof of address and things like that too. The good thing about Nextdoor is that no violent offenders or registered offenders are allowed to be part of that group. So your safety is of utmost importance to them.
It is really neat. I know, like, whenever people lose their dogs in our neighborhood, they're like, okay, well, here's the picture of the dog, and it takes no time at all to figure out who the owner is and get them back. And we have a Zeus, and Zeus decides that, he just needs to go check the places out real quick, and everybody knows who Zeus belongs to. Could be because I'm constantly posting funny photos of him on Facebook, because he's just hilarious. But it's really great. They even do like yard sales, and it's really a great way to get to know your neighbors. It
really is. It's another level of communication. We live in often an electronic age where, email and things like that are just right at our fingertips. So it's another benefit. One thing not to forget is that while the digital age is great, sometimes the old-fashioned communication is what's needed. Sometimes there are people who aren't on social media and aren't on Facebook, don't have email, and we encounter that quite a bit with neighborhood groups, depending upon the average age of the people as well, too. Sometimes we encourage what we call phone trees. Basically, it's tiering down that if there's something going on in a certain block, a leader will call 3 people down, like in a pyramid style, and report what's going on. So that's another level that we can also do, too, depending upon the communication style and needs of a neighborhood as well.
Yeah, it's really weird. I was talking with Vern Jarbo about it on the show, and, it's not the community that we all grew up in where everybody knew everybody, and,
Yeah.
I grew up in a very small town, and if I did anything wrong, I can guarantee you beyond a shadow of a doubt, my parents knew it before I got home. I don't necessarily miss that, even though I am an adult. It is great, though, that everybody knew us, and, we didn't have a whole lot of crazy going on whenever we were younger. We also didn't have social media, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But it's, it'd be great for communities to get to where that is what you are living in, and you can help, each other.
Yeah. It's a great tool, and I encourage you to take advantage of it, especially in your neighborhood day-to-day life.
Thanks for listening to Real Estate 101. We'll be right back after these commercials.
Southwest Topeka has a good neighbor. State Farm agent Jim Garrison, now at 29th and Urish. If your current insurance situation has you going around in circles, get off the roundabout and stop in and meet Jim and his wonderfully efficient staff. Let Jim Garrison give you a quote and make the Garrison comparison. He's confident that with State Farm's competitive rates, the right coverage, and his unmatched service, you'll want to make him your new insurance agent. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and Jim Garrison is there for you, northeast of the roundabout at 29th and Urish.
Thanks for joining us again on Real Estate 101. I'm here with Kristi Pankratz with Safe Streets. So, topic close to my heart, new home buyers. What is a good way for them to figure out what goes on in a neighborhood?
Well, there are a couple different things that we recommend. One of the first things is if you're electronic savvy and like apps and all that kind of stuff, there is a great site called raidsonline.com, RAIDS online.com. And this is particularly great if you are in the city of Topeka limits, if that's where you're looking for property. Because what this is it's data reported to the Topeka Police Department, and you can look at what's occurred in a particular area. It's usually about a week delayed, so it won't be up to the minute, but it's very close and it's very accurate. In fact, it even will GPS to your location specifically, which is really cool because then you can see, okay, nothing really much is going on here. Oh, I live next to one of the big box stores, so that explains the shoplifting charges, which can skew things a little bit too. But it's really a great idea to look at what trend-wise has gone on. Is there a spike? Is it pretty dormant? Is this an area I need to be concerned about? Or maybe this isn't the right area for me. So Raids Online is both available as an app and website and is a wonderful, wonderful tool to use. If you're looking at the county level, the Shawnee County Sheriff's Office has information, crime stats on their website, and I would encourage you to go visit their site, shawneesheriff.org, to also look at the county level data too. These are just some great, I'm a big data person. You can do a lot of analyzation and see what works best for you with that data. So these are some great tools to do that. In addition, if you're looking at buying a house, there are we live in a really great community, I think. I'd encourage you to drive by the house both during the daytime hours as well as in the evening, just to kind of see how things change, how when people are getting up and ready for work, what kind of environment is it? When people are even away during the day, what kind of environment is it? And then how do things change when the evening comes around? So those are a couple of things we encourage. And also, if people are considering becoming property managers, landlords, we do offer a training for folks too called Safe Property Management, and that basically looks at different types of laws that are out there. We have an attorney come in. We work with city code, now called property maintenance. Narcotics officers come in, and we kind of look at what are popular issues that people as landlords might experience, and we kind of bring all that information together in one setting. So that's kind of an added benefit that we offer that's really well received. And recently, we just did a class in October. We added some human trafficking elements about what to look for with that, as well as mental health, because mental health has been kind of a little bit more prominent in how should people deal with that in potential tenants. So that's one of the other trainings that we do offer and work with, and we offer those twice a year, usually in spring and fall.
I know with us, we do like a buyer consultation, and we go through a lot of things that they show up on your contract, but they really don't see them prior to writing an offer.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things that I never really did like is it does have how to go out and check out, for registered offenders.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not seeing that until they're writing an offer.
Yeah.
So that became a part of our pre-buying package to say, okay, this is how you're checking out a house. This is how you can see what's going on. And unfortunately, you can't, as a real estate agent, we can't steer you. It's actually can get you in all kinds of trouble.
Exactly.
But we can give you the information, and it is unfortunately completely your responsibility to check it out. We can't even do it for you. But these are great services that you need to be doing. We can't determine what's important to you, but we can certainly give you the information to find that out. And these are great websites. I know I personally live out in the county, and they do have emails that go out from the sheriff to say, okay, this is what's going on in your area. Yeah. Fortunately, we haven't gotten very many emails. So, and also know that things change. You don't always know when a registered offender's moved in. It's not like you would typically get a notice necessarily.
Right.
And as Vern Jarbo always says, you have to rely on a criminal to report that they're there. And, well, they are criminals. So you can't always be 100% sure. And
information is power. Mm-hmm. The more you know what to look for. And you can find, for instance, registered offenders on both the Kansas Bureau of Investigation's website. They have a great tool. Shawnee County Sheriff's Office has information on their site as well, too. And just encourage people to, be informed about what goes on. And data, as well as the offenders, certainly helps with knowing what the neighborhood is data-wise.
Yeah. And it can happen in any territory. It could happen in any price range. As you'll hear on a show that I recorded with Vern, $1 million property, registered offender. There's, so much that could happen, and things change every day. So living in a world of fear is one thing, but having the knowledge so you know how to react is another.
Exactly. And that's really what we want people to do, is to know things. We want them to know the crime. We want them to know the data. And we want them to know steps that they can take on how to prevent crime in certain cases.
So let's talk about ways that people can get involved.
Awesome. Well, people can get involved in a couple different ways. One of the basic things that we encourage is for people to report crime. I can't tell you how many times I hear that, I didn't want to bother police with this. It was just a small little statue in my yard that was taken. Things like that matter. Oftentimes, law enforcement aren't aware of trends of crime until way late, because people aren't reporting crime. So if they see certain things going on in a particular neighborhood, they then know how to better address their resources. So that's essential for them in their operations and to solve crimes as well, too. So reporting crime is the absolute most important thing that you and I can do to make our community safer. The next level, I've got little different tiers of things here. And the next level is to get involved with your neighborhood. It can be as big as having a neighborhood watch meeting, starting one if there isn't one already in your neighborhood. Or it can be as simple as holidays are coming up, take your neighbor a plate of cookies. Just have that good old-fashioned get-to-know-you type of feeling if you don't already. Take advantage of the seasons and use that as an opportunity to say, hey, I know I've lived here for a while, but I'm not quite sure we've really had an opportunity to talk. I'm Kristi. Very nice to meet you. do you have any concerns about the neighborhood? And just start that dialogue. We offer other types of programs. We have a Safe Streets Coalition that meets monthly out at the Great Overland Station every Wednesday, 11:30 a.m. Or I'm sorry, at noon. We open at 11:30 and have kind of a conversational period before then. But that's open to people too. We have different speakers who come in and talk about crime trends, things that are going on in the community, and things that people can be aware of. We would love to have you. We have a Facebook page called Safe Streets Coalition. Please like us and share the information. We post a lot of crime prevention tips on that page, especially with the holidays coming up, shopping, all of that kind of stuff is going on right now, and really encourage people to be aware. With the holidays, we're going to see a lot more people out and about. And with that, there comes more opportunity. So again, what we can do to remove that opportunity. For instance, if you are going to be out and about anytime this holiday season, I would encourage people to know their surroundings. Often we look at our cell phones pretty much regularly, and we kind of don't look up and see the real world. But know your whereabouts. Know who's around you. Just know what's going on. If something seems off, trust your instincts and report it to the appropriate authorities. I can't stress that enough right now. Things like never leave a purse or wallet unattended. I know if you're in a shopping center, you have a shopping cart, you put your purse. If you're anything like me and have a huge handbag, you put it in the purse. Make sure that stays right next to you at all times. Don't wander down a couple steps. Just make sure it stays with you at all times. And never leave purchases in plain sight in your vehicle. Lock it, remove it, or lose it is one of our programs and one of our sayings, and we really encourage you, especially this holiday season, to hide the bags. And most importantly, be patient with people. So often we can get kind of riled up. Holidays are an added stressor for a lot of us. But just take a moment to relax and enjoy the season.
Yeah, don't run over those people for a deal.
Exactly.
No road rage, any of that stuff. Just ruins the holiday for everybody.
Exactly.
So real quick, give us all the information on where they can find you, places that they should be looking for pertinent information and all of that good stuff.
Sure. Well, we have a website, www.safestreets.org. We have a lot of different crime prevention information on there. One of the best ways to get a hold of us is through our Facebook page, Safe Streets Coalition, or you can call us at 266-4606. This season, we're going to have a lot of great information and probably some videos regarding things that people can do to be actively involved in their community, crime prevention tips, etc. So really encourage you to tune into that.
That sounds great. And again, if you are checking out properties, go out to raidsonline.com or shawneesheriff.org.
Yes.
And check out the properties around you. Thank you so much, Kristi, for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
And if you're looking to buy or sell, give us a call at Realty Executives Preferred Advisors at 785-213-5188 or check out our website at TopekaRealtyExecutives.com. And thanks for listening to Real Estate 101.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. Tune in again next Sunday at 11 o'clock for Real Estate 101.